Hey, what's going on, guys? I am here to help prevent the scenario where there's 5 big jack dudes angrily staring at the back of your head in the gym. But first, guys and gals, these etiquette videos are meant to be a lot of fun. They're meant to help the beginners kind of be exposed to some of the thinking and the mindset of the gym before you even get in there. Because a lot of this stuff is not written anywhere. Even looking on the internet, it's hard to find. And it's little unofficial codes of conduct in the gym that are gonna help things run more smoothly and help you fit in and be more cool right away, all right? So the first way to prevent this awkward scenario is be courteous with equipment use, all right? So there is this thing called the multi-station in our gym, right? It's where like there's a cable row and then there's a press down, it's a bunch of cables and there's like sets of 4. It's connected with a bar over the top and then the other side has 4 more too, right? Well, every once in a while, someone really wants to do pull-ups and there's a pull-up bar there. Now the problem with doing pull-ups there is it blocks the access to the other 2 cable rows, which are highly popular, okay? So you can see how this is a problem. Now there is like 7 places in the gym where you can do pull-ups, okay? You can do them in the squat rack, you can do them in the captain's chair, you can do them just on the bar on the wall, right? I'm not gonna name all of them, but there's lots of places to do pull-ups. So if you are doing an exercise, it is best to try to find a least obtrusive way or place to use it. With regard to pull-ups too, you can also do lat pull downs. So there's even an opportunity to learn how to do a new exercise as well. Now over by the mirror, there is little mini benches everywhere for people can sit down and do bench press or curls or whatever you need to do. And every once in a while, it's pretty rare, but someone is over there jump roping, right? And we are in a big gym, so there's just like tons of square footage to go jump rope. But clearly, as you can understand now, that doing jump rope there blocks everyone else from accessing the other equipment in the area, right? So that's pretty obvious, right? But you'd be surprised that that some people don't really think about this or just not aware of it, okay? Another really interesting thing that you may not be aware of as a beginner is certain equipment can only, how am I gonna phrase this? Guys that lift heavy weights can only use certain equipment, okay? I'll give you an example. On our ab machine in the gym, I put on, I'm gonna boast here, I put on all of the weight stack, okay? Because I have a lot of strength in my abs, okay? Now, I can't really go do sit-ups because it's not enough stress. I would have to do like 1,000 sit-ups a day, right? So I can only use this machine. So when an individual comes to use the machine that just puts on a single plate, I can't use the machine. Meanwhile, they could go do sit-ups, right? So there's other instances of this as well across the gym. One time I saw in the hammer strength bench press, which is, the hammer strength machines are, well, we used to call them that when I played college football, but there's different brand names now. It's where you put the actual heavy plates, like the 45-pound plates, onto the machine, and there's usually one hinge, and you push and it rotates the hinge up, okay? Every once in a while, I approach this machinery, which are built to handle upwards of 3, 4, or 5 plates per arm. That's if you're benching around the 300-pound weight amount. So oftentimes there's like 10s on there or 5s. And that's not even enough weight to do a push-up. So if you're not strong enough to do certain equipment, you're much better off doing push-ups and leaving the other equipment available, okay? So that's great because you just simply may not have known that, right? So now you know, right? So be courteous and aware that some equipment really can only be used by the big dudes, whereas you can probably do other equipment too. Now I do this as well, so I'm courteous as well. For instance, I do the cable machine. I'm really into that. There's like arms you can adjust and then you pull the cable this way. I can do like 4 exercises times 6 sets per exercise. So I could literally stay there for 45 minutes. But out of courtesy, I'll do 1 or 2 and then I'll go do another exercise just so that people can get in there and use it if they need to, right? So I hope you do that as well. All right, now, the other amazing fact I'm gonna give you is in regards to re-racking the weights. So the tip is, when in doubt, re-rack the weights. Okay, so re-rack means put the weights back where you found them, okay? Now, this may seem obvious to a lot of people. I bet if you're on my channel, if you have watched my videos, you know this, right? But we have a scenario where there's constantly, regularly weights that are like left all over the gym floor. So I don't quite get it. I don't understand it. I was a kid who played with the Legos and I was very, conscientious minded. So I don't really understand why equipment is left all over the gym. But to keep it really simple, if you get like dumbbells, you need to go back to the rack no matter what, okay? Now this is a next level tip for some of you amazing, high status, highly social intelligent people, is if you see weights laying around, when you're done with your exercise, grab them and put them back just as a pal. I do this all the time, right? When I'm standing around between sets over by the hammer strength stuff, if I see plates, I'll just start to organize them. And I know that I am like a party of one because no one else ever does that, but I do. And I hope that you join me on that endeavor, right? Amazing. Now I'm gonna give you a caveat to re-racking the weights that might blow your mind. I mean, people are probably gonna get like outraged about this, okay? And if you have something to say, put it in the comments, let me have it. On some equipment, it is okay to leave 45-pound plates, okay? As I described earlier with the equipment, the hammer strength equipment, right? Where I often come to and there's like little tiny 2-pound weights on. Typically, I believe it is okay to leave one single set of 45-pound weights on. The reason is because the amount of strength needed to use this machine is pretty high. And so almost everyone in my gym uses 45-pound plates there. So I will leave 45-pound plates on out of courtesy for the next guy who's gonna need the 45-pound plates, all right? Now I know that you've gotta use a little intuition and you gotta know, like on a Saturday when there's lots of different people in the gym, I'll take it off, right? But during the week, we're just rotating through and it's like a courtesy for guys to leave a little bit on, right? Or if you can communicate with the other person that's moving on next, you can decide how much weight you wanna leave on there. Here's a funny and embarrassing story. So I was at this gym, this is probably like 6 or 7 years ago. There was like this big bodybuilder guy, right? And this is before I really had more of a awakening on sort of like courtesy and sincerity, but I was doing a lot of weight. I had 3 45-pound plates on doing, I think it was decline bench on the hammer, right? And the guy wanted to use it after me. And so I thought he would be using the heavy weight because he was a big guy. So I left the weight on it and he got up in my face about it. And it was kind of embarrassing and awkward. And that's another tip for some of the beginners too, is just because the guys are physically big doesn't mean their strategy in weight training is always the same. Doesn't mean they're gonna lift heavy weights per se. So in this case, in that story, I don't know, at first I thought, man, I was such a dumbass. And then later I thought, no, the bigger guy, he should have been more courteous too. So we were both in the wrong. If that instance would have happened today, we both would have laughed about it. I would have defused the bomb, but that's all water under the bridge now, right? So re-rack the weights when in doubt, guys. But of course, you know that because you're here with me, getting better, and your gym IQ, and you're looking great, and I love you guys, and welcome to the club.